14 hours in steel-toed boots, caked in Texas dust and sweat, and all I wanted was a cold beer and 10 minutes without someone yelling in my ear. I walked through the front door just after 9. Boots heavy, spine aching, brain running on fumes. The lights were on in the kitchen. I figured she was waiting up. Then I heard her laughing. Loud, careless, like she didn't have a husband dragging himself home to her. "I swear to God, he's just another deadbeat mechanic now," she said. "No vision, no drive. He comes home, eats, showers, and sleeps. That's it. He used to talk big. Now he's just nothing." I froze, my hand still on the doorknob. My heart didn't drop, it clenched. Tight, cold. Another voice piped up through the speakerphone. Something like, "Girl, stop. You're gonna make me pee." Laughter followed. 3 of them, laughing at me. I stepped forward, boots heavy on the tile. My presence cut through their cackling like a blade. She was leaning on the kitchen counter, wine glass in hand, phone right beside her on speaker. She looked up and went dead silent. The blood drained from her face so fast I thought she'd faint. Her friends didn't even hang up. They just shut up. I stared at her, dead in the eyes. If I'm such a deadbeat, why wait a year to leave me? She blinked, like she hadn't registered that I heard everything. Then she grabbed the phone, turned off the speaker, and started mumbling. "Babe, come on. It's just girl talk. I didn't mean it like that." "Don't lie," I said. My voice stayed calm, steady. "You said exactly what you meant. I'm just tired of pretending this isn't what it is." She walked toward me, her voice soft and fake now. "You're taking this way too serious. It was just jokes." I shook my head. "You don't get to laugh at me with your friends and still play wife. We're done here." She started crying before I even reached the bedroom. "Wait, please. Don't throw everything away over a stupid call." I grabbed a duffel bag and started shoving clothes in. Underwear, socks, couple shirts, my razor and toothbrush from the bathroom. "You're overreacting," she called after me. I zipped the bag, slung it over my shoulder, and walked straight out the door. I didn't stop driving until I saw the flickering vacancy sign at the Palms Motor Inn, just off Highway 6. The kind of place with cigarette burns on the comforter and a front desk that closes after midnight. $39 cash, no ID required. I handed over 2 crumpled 20s and didn't wait for change. The room stank like mold and sour carpet cleaner. The AC unit rattled when I turned it on, but at least it drowned out the noise in my head. I dropped my bag on the floor, sat on the edge of the bed, and stared at my phone. The screen lit up again. "I'm sorry. Please come home. You're being crazy. We need to talk. You're acting like a child. I didn't mean it, baby. Don't throw us away. You're really gonna walk out after everything I did for you?" It didn't stop. She texted nonstop for hours, switching from guilt trips to begging to straight-up insults. I muted the thread, tossed the phone on the nightstand, and laid back on the stiff mattress, staring at the ceiling tiles. Couldn't sleep. Couldn't think straight either. Sometime around 4, the screen lit up again. Different number. Lena, Salon. I hesitated for a second, then picked up. "Yeah." She paused. Is this Will? "Who's this?" "It's Lena, from the salon. Look, I wouldn't be calling you this late unless it was serious." I sat up. "What is it?" "Your wife. She's not just running her mouth. She's been planning this for months. She's trying to get you to leave first so she can say you abandoned her." I clenched the phone tighter. "What?" "She told us, all of us, said she had a lawyer lined up since February. Said the only thing holding her back was making sure you'd be the one to walk, so she could win everything." Her words. I stood and started pacing the room, trying to breathe. "She already has a lawyer?" "Yeah." I didn't think she was serious till tonight. I couldn't listen to her trash you like that again. I'm not okay with it. What's she trying to do? She's keeping the house. She wants spousal support. And she told someone she'd claim emotional neglect and abandonment if you didn't come crawling back. I stopped pacing. My hands were shaking now. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I don't like being used. And I'm not gonna watch her screw you over while pretending she's the victim. I swallowed hard. You got proof. I've got a recording of our group chat from last week. I'll send it. Keep it safe. Lena, thank you. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing it because what she's doing is wrong. Get yourself a lawyer. Fast. The line went dead. I stood there for a second, phone buzzing in my hand with more messages from my wife. The mattress was still warm from where I'd been lying. I grabbed my wallet, keys, and phone and walked out into the night. I didn't drive far, just parked in a gas station lot, cracked the windows, and sat there till the sun came up. I needed a plan, and someone smarter than me to help make one. By 9, I was sitting in the break room at the shop, phone in one hand, Lena's recording in the other. I pulled up a number a buddy gave me last year when he went through his own nasty split. Wells Law, this is Diane. I need to talk to Mr. Wells. It's about a divorce. You got a referral? Yeah. Carl Thurman sent me. Said Mr. Wells doesn't screw around. She didn't ask questions after that. Said he had a spot that afternoon. At 3 o'clock sharp, I walked into a tiny office behind a dry cleaner in Waco. No art on the walls. Just file cabinets, a cluttered desk, and a man in a button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled past his elbows. You will? He asked. I nodded. You Mr. Wells? He gestured at the chair across from him. Let's go. I told him everything. From the second I walked through that door last night to Lena's call and the message she sent an hour ago. He didn't interrupt, didn't write anything down until I said, she's been planning this since February, trying to bait me into leaving. Do you have anything in writing? I've got a recording Lena sent. From their group chat. She flat out says it. Send it to me. Now. I forwarded the file and watched him pull it up. He listened to 30 seconds, paused it and said, okay, we need to move. She's setting you up to lose the house, maybe pay support, maybe worse. Abandonment's real in Texas. I already left. You packed a bag. Temporary separation. Doesn't count yet. But if you stay gone too long, she files first. Says you ghosted her, you're screwed. I leaned forward. So what do I do? Step 1, document everything. Every text. Every call. Don't delete a damn thing. You forward me that message thread from last night. Done. Step 2, don't move out permanently. You need to go back, get mail, spend some nights there. Establish legal presence. I stared at him. She'll flip if I show up. She's not the client. You are. You need to beat her to the punch. I nodded slowly. All right, what else? Start pulling your paperwork. Bank statements, tax returns, anything with your name on it. Pay stubs. List what's in the house. Furniture, tools, joint stuff. You need to prove what's yours. I can do that. One more thing, he said. From this point on, don't trust a single word that comes out of her mouth unless it's in writing. No private talks. No calls without record. If she wants to talk, you send her through me. It was like someone finally threw me a rope after I'd been drowning all night. My brain stopped spinning long enough to breathe. He stood and offered his hand. This is winnable, but only if you move faster than she does. I shook his hand, firm. I'm done playing nice. I pulled into the driveway the next morning around 8. Sun wasn't even high yet. The porch light was still on. I sat in the truck for a minute, engine running, heart pounding louder than the motor. She was home. Her car was in the same spot, crooked like always. I killed the engine and grabbed a box from the passenger seat. When I opened the front door, she was coming down the hall in a robe, holding a mug like she'd just woken up to a normal Tuesday. She froze. You're back. Yeah, I said, walking right past her toward the bedroom. Need to grab more of my stuff. She followed. We should talk. I didn't mean what I said. That call got out of hand. I started packing clothes into the box. Don't do that. Do what? Act like it was just a joke. I heard everything. You meant it. Her voice softened. I was upset. I didn't know you were coming home. You were gone. For less than 12 hours. I didn't mean for it to come out like that, she said. It was stupid. I messed up. Okay? You hired a divorce lawyer in February. Her face dropped like I'd slapped her. Yeah, I know, I said. I know about the group chat. The plan to make me leave first. Lena sent me the audio. She stepped back a little. That's not what it sounds like. I looked her dead in the eye. Don't lie again. She blinked fast, started tearing up. You're ruining everything. No, I said. You did that months ago. You played house while planning to screw me in court. You think Lena's your friend now? She snapped. You don't know the full story. She's bitter. She's jealous of what we have. I threw a handful of socks in the box and stood. She's not the one who called me a deadbeat with her friends. You did that all on your own. I was venting. You were celebrating. She stood in the doorway, blocking my path. Please, let's just talk like adults. We can fix this if you just calm down. I am calm, I said. That's what's scaring you. I stepped past her, walked straight to the hall closet, grabbed my tools, work boots, and anything else I knew she'd claim was hers if I left it. She followed me to the door. You're walking away from a marriage over one bad night? I turned to her. You walked away 8 months ago. I'm just catching up. Then I opened the door, carried my box to the truck, and left without another word. I'd barely made it back to the motel when my phone buzzed again. Unknown number, Texas area code. I let it go to voicemail. 10 minutes later, a text popped up. Hey Will, it's Marcy. I need to talk to you. It's important. I knew the name. She was one of my wife's salon friends, always around, always smiling fake. I called her. Will? She answered right away. I'm sorry to just text out of nowhere, but I can't sit on this anymore. What's going on? She asked me to lie for her, Marcy said. In court. I leaned forward in the driver's seat. Lie how? She wanted me to say you were emotionally abusive. Said it'd help her case if she had witnesses. She even typed up what she wanted me to say. You serious? I still have the message. I'll send it to you. I told her no. Told her I wouldn't perjure myself for anybody. I rubbed my jaw trying to process it. Why are you telling me this now? Because I didn't realize how far she was willing to go. And Lena told me what happened. I feel sick. You didn't deserve any of this. She sent the screenshots while we were still on the call. My wife had laid it out like a script. Word for word lies she wanted Marcy to repeat. I sent it all to Mr. Wells immediately. An hour later, another name showed up on my screen. Vanessa, another one of their coworkers. She said she wanted to clear something up, too. That she'd been uncomfortable for months. That my wife had been rehearsing stories to tell if the divorce got ugly. She thought it was all talk until now. By the end of the day, 4 different women had messaged me. Some of them barely acquaintances. All of them had the same tone. Nervous, guilty, but honest. None of them wanted to be dragged into her mess. I called Wells and filled him in. They're all willing to put it in writing. One already has text proof. Get affidavits, he said. Sworn statements. The more we stack, the faster her story falls apart. Lena helped me with the paperwork side. Said she'd get the others what they needed. By Friday, I had 3 notarized statements in my inbox and 2 more pending. Her fake case? It was turning to dust right in front of her. That's the thing about manipulation. It works right up until people get scared they'll be dragged down with you. And she was dragging fast. I looked over the emails, organized the files, forwarded them all to Wells, and sat back for the first time in a week without that knot in my chest. Wells called me first thing Monday morning. I filed the petition, he said. You ready to serve her? Absolutely. He gave me 2 options, sheriff's deputy or private processor. I paid the extra $100 for the private guy. I wanted it clean, fast, and public. We picked the salon. By Thursday, she was served right there in front of her coworkers and a client mid-day job. The processor handed her the envelope, said her full name loud and clear, and walked out. No drama, just cold paperwork and a signature. She called me 12 minutes later. I didn't answer. She left a voicemail screaming, "How dare you humiliate me at work? You think this is how grown-ups handle things? You petty son of a bitch. I forwarded it straight to Wells. Then came the texts. Paragraphs. Rage. Blame. Denial. You'll regret this. I was trying to save us. You just ruined my reputation. You want war? You got it. I didn't answer a single one. Just kept adding them to the folder and forwarding them to my lawyer. The silence must have hit her harder than the envelope did, because 2 days later, her attorney called Wells. Suddenly, Wells told me she wants to talk settlement, doesn't want to drag it through court anymore. I laughed. Let me guess. Too much heat from her own people now? Looks that way. Witnesses shook her up. Your paper trail doesn't hurt either. We met at his office to prep. Sat at his desk, going over everything: finances, bank records, the affidavits, Lena's recording, Marcy's texts, the list of household items. She's gonna want to make this messy, Wells said. But she knows we're holding all the cards now. I nodded. Let her try. She'll come in swinging. That's her style. But her side has nothing to swing with. She's panicking. I leaned back in the chair. For the first time since all this started, I didn't feel cornered. I wasn't reacting anymore, I was driving it. She picked the wrong guy to run games on, I said. Wells smirked. That's what she's just now figuring out. We spent the next 2 hours organizing our evidence and laying out priorities. I told him I didn't care about the furniture or the damn air fryer. I just wanted my truck, my tools, and to be done. Clean break, I said. No spousal support. No guilt payments. Just fair. We've got the leverage, he said. We'll use it. I left the office with a folder full of everything she didn't want anyone to see and a meeting scheduled for the following week. She started this fight thinking I'd roll over. Now she was the one scrambling. We sat across from each other in a beige conference room that smelled like coffee and printer toner. Her lawyer had the kind of slick haircut that said billable hours before he even opened his mouth. She showed up in heels and a tight blazer, acting like she hadn't tried to wreck me 6 different ways already. Wells was calm, arms crossed, zero expression. I didn't say much. I let the folder in front of me do the talking. Slick lawyer started. We'd like to propose a clean division. My client keeps the house and her vehicle. Your client keeps his business assets. But due to financial disparity, we also believe Mr. Tolland should assume the joint credit card debt and transfer the title of the Ford F-150 to Mrs. Tolland. I looked up. You're outta your mind. Wells held up a hand. We're not here for back and forth bickering. Let me be clear. My client isn't assuming a single cent of that debt. Nor is he handing over the vehicle he's solely paid for. Slick lawyer leaned forward. We have receipts that show household charges were joint. Wells didn't flinch. And we have bank statements showing every bill paid from Will's account. Every single month. He opened the folder and started sliding documents across the table like playing cards. Rent paid by him. Power paid by him. Groceries? Mostly him. And that credit card debt? 90% of it is salon supplies, girls' nights, and Instagram skincare brands ordered under her name. Her lawyer blinked. She didn't. We're also not entertaining any spousal support claims, Wells added. Texas is clear on that. She has full-time income. No kids. No health issues. This is a marriage, not a paycheck. She finally spoke up, her voice sharp. I supported him emotionally while he was building his business. You trashed him to your friends while plotting a setup, Wells said flatly. He didn't raise his voice, didn't blink, just dropped the final folder on the table. These are sworn affidavits from 5 people in your client's inner circle, he said, along with a full transcription of a conversation where she discusses fabricating emotional abuse claims. Her lawyer's mouth tightened. She crossed her arms and looked down. Our counter, Wells said, tapping the table, is simple. She keeps her debt and her car. He keeps his truck and his tools. No support. No further contact. If this goes to court, we'll submit every one of these exhibits and call each of her friends as witnesses. The silence in the room stretched. Her lawyer cleared his throat. Give us a moment. They stepped into the hallway. Wells leaned over and said, They'll cave. Watch. 5 minutes later, they came back in. Her face was flushed, but her mouth was shut. "We'll accept your terms," Slick Lawyer said. I didn't react. I just nodded and stood up. As we walked out, Wells clapped a hand on my shoulder. "That's how you take control of your life back." Outside, the sky was clear, the air finally cool after a brutal week of heat. I got in my truck, shut the door, and sat for a second, staring at the papers in my hand. I didn't just survive this. I beat it. I signed the lease on a second-floor apartment 2 blocks from the shop. Nothing fancy. Beige walls, squeaky floors, no washer-dryer. But it was mine. No eggshell walking, no fake smiles across the dinner table. Just a mattress on the floor, a cheap couch from Facebook Marketplace, and a folding table that doubled as a desk and dinner spot. Freedom didn't feel loud. It felt quiet. And damn, I needed quiet. I spent the first few nights unpacking my tools, hanging up a cheap blackout curtain, putting together flat-pack furniture that wobbled no matter how tight I turned the bolts. But every screw I drove in reminded me, this was my place now. Nobody rolling their eyes, nobody telling me I wasn't ambitious enough. Just work, sleep, and peace. Word got around quicker than I expected. One of the guys at the shop said, "Hey, heard she's working nights at that drive-through Bank off 31. Didn't she say you were the broke one?" Apparently, she'd picked up a second job to try and keep up with the credit card payments. The debt she tried to drop on me didn't vanish just because the court didn't let her pin it. Another guy told me half her old crew ghosted her after the truth came out. Lena, still at the salon. Marcy quit and found a new spot. Vanessa blocked her entirely. Guess they weren't as ride or die as she thought. That weekend I ran into Lena at the hardware store. I was there to grab a new drill. Mine finally gave out after 6 years of abuse. She was standing in the aisle comparing 2 packs of ceiling hooks, still wearing scrubs under her hoodie. She did a double take. "Will." "Hey," I said, nodding. "Damn, you look like you finally slept." I laughed. "I finally did." She walked over, still holding both packs. "How's life on the other side?" "Quiet. Cheap furniture. A lot of takeout." "That sounds amazing." We talked for a few minutes, nothing deep, just how work was, what she was building in her apartment, dumb stuff. Then she looked at me and said, "You know, you weren't the only one who saw through her. Most of us just didn't have the guts to say it until it was too late." I nodded. Better late than never. Before she walked away, she gave me a look. Not flirty, not weird, just respectful. "Glad you landed on your feet, Will." A couple days later, my manager pulled me aside at the shop, said the company was opening up a new crew supervisor spot and they wanted someone reliable. Someone solid. I didn't even blink. "I'm in." Came with better hours, more pay, and my own keys to the gate. It also came with something I hadn't felt in a long time: stability. I walked into that little apartment later that night with a greasy burger in one hand and my first supervisor contract in the other. Sat down at my folding table, cracked open a beer, and stared at the signature line for a long second. Then I picked up the pen and signed my damn name. 2 days after I signed the contract, I stopped by Hastings Rentals to pick up a compact loader for a new job site. The line was slow, one register open, and I was flipping through my phone when someone behind the counter said, "That's a solid shirt for a guy who swears at machines for a living." I looked up. She had a name tag that said Aaron, a ponytail pulled through the back of a camo ball cap, and that dry kind of smile that could be flirt or sarcasm. Hard to tell. I smirked. "What's wrong with a little frustration fashion? You're wearing a mechanic shop shirt that says, 'Pain is just weakness leaving the tool drawer.' I stand by it." She laughed, sharp and real. "Loader's gassed up and ready. Just need a signature." I signed, grabbed the clipboard back, and for whatever reason, didn't leave right away. "You always work the counter?" "Nah," she said. "I run dispatch most days. I only cover front when someone's sick, which means hungover." Lucky me. Guess so. It wasn't fireworks. It wasn't a spark out of a movie. It was comfortable, like something normal for once. I came back the next day to drop the loader and brought her a coffee. She raised an eyebrow. "Do I look that tired?" "No." I said. I just figured maybe someone should bring you something for a change. She took the cup and said, all right, Mr. Weakness, leaving the tool drawer. You're on thin ice. We got coffee again that Friday. No heavy stuff. No sad stories. Just normal things: music, favorite takeout, dumb drivers, work pet peeves. She didn't ask about my divorce. I didn't volunteer it. She didn't need to know everything to treat me like a human being, and I didn't need to bleed out every wound to feel seen. After we said goodbye in the parking lot, I sat in my truck and stared at the empty cup she'd handed me. Her name written on the side in Sharpie by the barista. It wasn't a date, but it wasn't nothing either. That night, I got a text from a number I didn't recognize. Hope she's worth it. No name, no context, just bitterness packed into 5 words. I stared at it for about 5 seconds, then hit block. No reply, no anger, no energy wasted. She had taken enough of my time. Erin didn't even know her name, and that was the best part. For the first time in a long damn while, I wasn't dragging baggage into the next room with me. I just turned off my phone, sat back on the couch, and let the silence stay. A few months later, the apartment didn't feel temporary anymore. I'd added a real couch, swapped the folding table for a decent kitchen set, even hung a crooked clock on the wall that always ran 5 minutes fast. Still didn't care enough to fix it. That 5 minutes was mine. Erin came by most Sundays. Sometimes she brought Chinese, sometimes it was just coffee and leftover jokes from her week. We never talked about the past. She didn't press, and I didn't feel the need to fill the space. It was the most peace I'd had in years. No eggshells, no setups, just 2 people figuring it out day by day. The promotion at the shop went through. Crew supervisor was official now. I had the keys, the clipboard, the early hours. Felt good. Earned. Not handed, not guilt, not begged for. Mine. Some mornings on my way out, I'd catch my reflection in the window. A guy in a work shirt, holding his own damn coffee, not waiting on anyone else to validate his day. It hit me one night, quiet and sudden. I was sitting on the balcony with a beer, watching traffic roll by, and I thought about that night in the kitchen. The laughter, the words. Just another deadbeat mechanic. That one moment tore everything open. But if I hadn't walked in when I did, I'd still be sitting at that dinner table, swallowing my pride while she planned how to gut me behind my back. People say it's easier to stay. They don't talk about how heavy it is, carrying someone else's disappointment like it's your job to fix it. You can't make someone respect you, but you can decide when you've had enough. I didn't leave because I was angry. I left because I finally understood. I don't miss her. I don't wake up wondering what could have gone different. I don't check her socials. I don't ask around. Whatever mess she's still in, it's not mine to clean up. I'm not bitter. I'm free. And this time I know what that actually means.